Today is a snow day, although it's not snowing. It's actually freezing raining here in Nova Scotia, so I'm home on a Friday, which is rare. So I thought, as a change, and because I've been talking so much about not spending any more money this year regarding my crafty things, I thought I would show you kind of what I'm playing with. So I think in the next few videos, I'm going to run through an inventory of my 12 by 12 pads, 6 by 6 and 6 by 8 pads, my journal cards, which is what I'm going to show you today, and we'll kind of take it from there, I guess. Maybe I'll get into thickers and wood veneer and washi, but we'll see. So I wanted to start with, I'll show you how I store my journal cards. So, and there's another one over here. This is 4 by 6. So I'll start with the 4 by 6 actually. Move things out of the way. So I tend to organize by purpose more than anything. Oh, those shouldn't be there. Oopsies. So as you can see, solid, or maybe you can't see, solid. And so I don't really have anything in here right now, but this would usually be where I would keep offcuts of solid colored cardstock. And then texture. And for me, texture is pattern, but it could also be things that maybe were dry embossed, or who knows really. From there, I even sometimes put in old packaging in here. So texture is a handmade one. And for this one, the texture is, of course, the sewing. Journaling. So, oh, sorry if you can hear the bell. The dogs have been trained to go and ring. We have a bear bell hung around the doorknob in the front room. So when the dogs need to go pee, they go and they ring the bell. Anyway, I'll take her out in a minute. So this is where my journaling, 4 by 6 journaling cards live. And you can see there's vertical, there's horizontal, whatever. Colorful, more because they're not my style. I separated them. These are a little too whimsical for the way I usually scrapbook. Quotes, I actually don't have any 4 by 6 quotes in here at the moment. Seasonal themes, and this is also, well, clearly you can tell what seasonal theme this one is. This one's winter / Christmas. And this is also where I put all my Studio Calico front pages, where they showcase all the different pattern paper that's in that particular pad. So they just kind of live in the back. I'm thinking this is probably journaling. I'm going to have to pause this video because she obviously needs to go pee. Poor laces. Texture, 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 again, and again. Okay, I'm going to pause this video, take the little critter for a pee, and I'll be back. Okay, so we're back. Now I've got kind of an assortment of other cards here. Maybe I'll just sort them on camera. So this I would put in texture because it's all pretty polka dotty. So as you can see, most of them are actually texture. This one I'm kind of feeling would be journaling. This one, even though it's not 4 by 6, I'm going to put it into. It's journaling. And I just have some random library cards that I'll put back in journaling, actually. All right, so these are my 4 by 6s. Now, if you're watching my haul from scrapbook.com in January, I also ordered a bunch more just journaling cards. And because these are kind of part of the same collection, I tend to keep them together just so I'm not sorting through all my supplies when it comes time to do a pocket page. So I'll just clip them. And then, even though there's also 3x4 in here as well. So these ones are just kind of the ones that are a collection. And wow, this is filling up fast, actually. And then there's, and you can also tell, these ones, because they're cut aparts, I haven't rounded the corners. I don't really care one way or another about rounded corners. I mix and match the ones that have rounded corners and don't. And, you know, whatever. I'm fine with that. This is a group of, oh, I love that card. This is a group of cards that I got from was it Studio Calico? I think it was. And they're kind of a weird assortment of themes. It was from October 2015. So this one's obviously a Halloween card. And because these are, again, part of a set, I'll probably just keep them together. Although this is a pretty chunky set. I don't know if I've got a clip big enough. No. Let's go for the Mezhuggah clip. So those are going to live in there too. So that is my 4x6 cards and my collections of cards. And then the rest are sorted similarly, but in the smaller bins. So collection again. These were the ones, again, I hauled these. These were, I filmed this one. I filmed this one as well. This was the dog, all the dog card. So cute. All the dog card collections. So those live in here. This was a cut apart from a crepe paper pad, and I had them kind of clipped together because I was making Valentine's Day projects. So I thought this was kind of a good set. Lacey. She's back there sniffing, if you can hear her sniffling and snuffling. Yeah, so I put these together and clipped them because I thought these would be good for a project, or if I just end up doing any Valentine's Day scrapbooking. And then we get into, these were gifted to me by Susan at Christmas time. She was very kind and generous and got me this set. And because they all coordinate by color, but they're also supposed to be journal cards for like an entire year. I don't know if you can see. Christmas, New Year's. I kept these ones all together as well. Actually, I'm going to put them with a clip, not with an elastic. So I wanted to keep these together. And then these, here we go. So if you've watched any of my videos, this is basically the way things go. My little female dog is getting old and more than a little senile. And she barks at things that are not there. So I may have to pause this and go give her a toy so we can actually finish this video in peace, because she's not going to leave it alone. I'll be back. There. We'll see how long that lasts. Also, sorry for the blue on my fingers. There was a marker explosion. The marker didn't survive, I'm sorry to say. So these were also gifted to me by Susan, and I don't have a baby in my family anywhere currently, but I am planning on doing up a baby album for a friend, and because these were so beautifully coordinated, I thought I'd keep them together as well. So those get clipped. So those are the collections. And then we get into more of my handmade ones. I've got to do something about the thread on these. That kind of stuff drives me crazy. And some of these are like my first attempts at journal cards. So they'll end up in one of my albums. And, you know, some of them are less than beautiful, but that's okay, because they're my albums and I'm not making anybody else take my first attempt cards. Okay, so you get the idea, I'm sure, by now, that they're kind of organized. This one's grid. It just happened that a lot of a lot of the freebie print and cut aparts were grid paper, which was great. And then some of these are also old Citrus Twist journal cards, because I used to be part of their, I used to subscribe to them. So it's kind of an assortment of, and you can see there's rounded corners, there's not rounded corners. It is what it is. So I'll just tuck those in the back. And then solid, again, offcuts of cardstock go in here, and you can see there's not much. I should actually tackle my cardstock drawer very soon, because I know I've got little scraps that could go in there. Colorful, again, like the other one, it's kind of ones that either I made or I bought, and they didn't really suit any particular thing I was doing, or actually these should be clipped. These are all part of a, yeah, these are all part of a collection. So yeah, it was kind of more ones that I didn't really know what to do with. I'm thinking this will probably go in colorful as well. They're kind of loud, or maybe I'm still trying to figure out how I want to use them. Texture. A lot of, these are pretty. I don't know if you'll actually see that. I put my acetate ones in here as well, because to me, those are texture as well. So, and then again, offcuts of other paper. I'm thinking that should probably go in colorful. And I kept this one because I thought this would be a great start for a journaling card, and put something behind it. And these are offcuts of 12 by 12 paper. And some are vertical and some are horizontal. I think for me, the biggest challenge this year is going to be using cards that are in this orientation, landscape instead of portrait, because a lot of my albums are, when I use the pocket pages, let's try that again, they're actually in the portrait orientation, or vertical. And then these were gifted to me by a sweet little student at the end of the year. Oh, that's a double of that. Oh, I was wondering where these went. Doubles. All right, I'll deal with that in a little bit. And then more offcuts of 12 by 12 paper. So yeah, as I said, I call these all texture. Here's that one that had colorful. There we go. And then they're quotes. So some of these are actually printables that I got online. And some are more of like, that was part of the other set. This one's a Citrus Twist card. And this I actually printed. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I printed it on my Canon Selphy, and it came out crooked because I wasn't paying attention and I didn't load the paper straight. So I could probably tweak that one a little bit. So that's one little tray. And then we get into another tray. So journaling. And again, some of these are, oh, my little bird is missing. Oh, that's sad. You can see the journaling cards, I actually have an awful lot of. Oh, look, there's more of those duplicates from that other set. Okay. So, yeah, and this was, a lot of these are handmade because I was kind of testing out, you know, journal cards and how to use scraps. And some of these I would probably take apart because that is way chunky to put in a pocket album. So I'd probably disassemble it and use a thinner foam. I was playing with my stamps and my watercolors, and I can't remember if I hand wrote today or if I stamped it. Who knows? Yeah. And then using up some little strange embellishments to make journal cards, and scraps and washi and enamel dots, and you get the idea. So these are an assortment of made, bought, printable. Oh, I have a lot of those. And then this one was one that I made for one of the little flip-ups. And it never made it into my album. I didn't end up needing it after all. So yeah, I love this card. I should have used this several times last year, but I didn't. So yeah, more handmade, more printable. I have a lot of journaling cards actually, and I really need to use these. That should probably be a quote card, but whatever. We'll go with it. So this stack, oh, seriously, this is my life, people. I have a day off to do filming, and this is what happens. Yeah, I'll be right back. All right, I brought Austin in here with me, so if you end up seeing a little furry head or a furry paw, you'll know what's going on, or if you hear snoring. He's very small, and he likes to, what's that, bud? And he likes to sleep on my lap while I'm crafting. I don't know if you can see his little nose in there. Anyway, so let's continue. Hopefully Lacey will stop barking now that Austin is in the room, because she was being a bully. So these are my embellished cards, and these tend to end up in various other places. Let's get rid of a little bucket. Yeah, now they're both in here. So these tend to end up on other projects, things that I don't mind if they're dimensional or whatever. So I made this while I was watching an Inky Quill scrap stream. And Inky Quill and her husband, so it's Adele and Aaron, they go by Mr. and Mrs. Rad. And so I was just playing with some stencils and colored pencils and all kinds of different things. And I made this card. And I don't really know what I'm going to do with it, but whatever. Oh, the bell. The bell. Okay. So, more handmade cards. And again, this orientation is tricky for me. So they'll probably end up on a different project. Maybe a scrapbook layout, we'll see. And using up little embellishments and doily bits and just random stickers that I didn't really know what to do with. I love this card, but I don't know if you can see this acetate piece. It's all one piece and it's like super chunky again. So I'll have to cut off the acetate before I put it in an album. I didn't actually make this. It was a layered sticker that I bought. And I love this butterfly. But again, very chunky. So a lot of the things that are in this little, that I put in this little embellished bucket are very dimensional. That should be in the collection. Yeah, Paige Evans. So, and I only try to keep things grouped so that when I actually do a page, I'm not searching for coordinating colors. And this was just me doing more handmade journaling cards. I was playing with my Cricut, had a bunch of different punches, whatever. This may end up as a card front, actually. It wouldn't be a bad card front. And then all of these. So these are ready to go. You know, could be a journaling spot. It could be just a filler card. Who knows? May end up anywhere. And I like these. I really loved this paper, actually. It was the Mariposa stack by, I think it was Die Cuts with a View. And boy, did I use this paper up. Wow. It was beautiful. It had such a cool, that one's not Mariposa. It had such a cool collection of colors and just butterflies, right? Everybody loves butterflies. And a lot of them are very similar. Oh, this was actually, I'll show you this. This was washi tape that I put on a piece of white cardstock, and then I just cut a banner. I was really trying to use up some of my stuff. Yeah, some of these would really make cute card fronts, actually. I should probably start figuring out how I'm going to use these. These have been in my stash for at least a year, probably closer to 2. And then, that should be texture. And then those really big pieces of embellishment that I never know what to do with. Being with you is my favorite. It's a really cute quote. I don't really know how I would use it, so I've made a journaling card out of it. And I just watercolored a stamp that I did. So that is my 3x4 and 4x6 journaling cards. There are more, which I think I'll probably grab and show you. They're kind of more of I don't really know what to do with cards, so I'll grab those and I'll be right back. Okay, so I grabbed my other journaling cards. Those aren't journaling cards. And a lot of these were, again, offcuts of 12x12 paper, cut aparts, me playing with scraps, whatever. So here's more of the Mariposa collection that I was playing with. And I may just actually put these right in my little bins. So this was me playing with my Cricut and kind of cutting designs and shapes and whatnot. I love this paper. Isn't it beautiful? And I think some of it was because of the orientation. I didn't know how I was going to use it because a lot of my, as I said before, a lot of my scrapbooking tends to be landscape, not portrait. And some of these would be, did I just see that word? Some of these would have been things where like I cut, so in this one, I cut LOVE out of the black and then I backed it with a little scrap. And then I probably, there it is. And then I used the positive letters to create a whole new card. So a lot of them would be kind of duplicates, I guess, in some way. Yeah, wow. Got a lot of that birdcage paper. So I'm thinking I may end up using a lot of these vertical, vertical scrap pieces as mats for cards. And then this one is, it's not really directional. You can't really tell. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy with the amount I'm flipping these cards. I do apologize. So yeah, I will put those with the 4x6. So solid texture. There we go. And then all of these. So I'll put these ones away off camera because I actually have more to show you. Set these guys aside. And then more handmade cards, journal cards, and some little offcuts in here. I wish I had found these before I did my February swap. Oh, okay. I've got to fix that. So this was, I went through a phase where I was playing with my sewing machine quite a lot. And then I realized I'm a horrible paper sewer. I must apologize to anyone I have ever sent sewn projects to. I don't know if I don't have the tension on my machine right or what, but so I'm going to pull these threads through and probably washi tape them on the back just so they're out of the way. Another one. That was again me playing with my Cricut. Some offcuts of, I think that was also Paige Evans. This was actually one of the few cards that I made that I actually liked. If you can hear snoring, Austin is snoring on my lap. So there you go. So there's more 4x6s. I'll throw those in there. And we'll sort those off camera. I already showed you those. And then these were, I cut down some papers. These were 12x12s that I cut down just because I wanted to use them, and they've been sitting in my stash ever since. So I should really resort these. And a lot of these were, again, the kind of papers that have the cut-aparts in them. So I wanted to keep them as a collection, but I'll probably just put them all back in that little baggie, actually, because it's quite a lot of odd sizes and such. Are you hearing this snoring? Are you getting this? One of these days I'll have to show you the way he likes to sleep. Sometimes when I really want to get a lot of crafting done, I need to have him on my lap, wrapped in a blanket, like swaddled like a baby. It's ridiculous. Otherwise, he's trying to lay on my arms and my hands, and of course I can't get any scrapping done. So there you go. There's my collection of cards. I'm going to throw these back in a bag because there's just too much to deal with. I apologize for the crinkly plastic noise. And then these were more cut-aparts that I ordered recently. And I kind of put them in a bag because, again, they're part of a collection. And some of these are not actually 3x4 cards. They're 3x3 squares. They're just kind of a random assortment of stuff. So I wanted to keep them all together so that when I go to grab things, everything's in one spot. And I'll probably end up making journal cards out of some of the little scrappy bits in there. And the same with this one. And you can see I left my branding strips and everything in there, but whatever. So again, cut-apart sheets, the 4x6 card cut-apart sheets. I love this paper collection. Which one was this? Jen Hadfield, This Is Family, and yeah, probably another one mixed in there too. But there, so that is officially my journaling cards. I've got a couple of other pages of cut-aparts that I haven't cut apart yet, which are in my scrapbook closet. But yeah, that's all of what I'm using. So my goal this year is to use what I have on all my projects and not buy any more paper, because when I do pocket pages, I do pocket pages by the month. I don't do them by the week because ain't nobody got time for that. So I wanted to really make an effort to use up what I have, and I really don't need any more, because in addition to all of these journaling cards, I also have a butt-ton of 12x12 and 6x6 and 6x8 papers. So what tends to happen is because the papers that are 6x6 and 6x8 are smaller, they make better journaling cards. So I'll likely end up with far more journaling cards than any human on the planet would ever need in 1 year. So there we go. Sorry, I got organizing and now I just can't stop. So there we go. All right, and that concludes this video. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of the wonderful things that people do on YouTube. And I will see you in my next video, which will likely be today, and 6x6 paper pads. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.